We're going to go over the process for hanging panels for a Peerless folding wall system. This one we'll be doing today is a four lighted unit. Essentially, when you receive a unit knocked down in the field, the panels will be brought in separate and your frame will typically be pre-assembled. We do offer some options where it's not. But if your frame is pre-assembled, this will be how you'll receive it. Your end pivots and capture trolleys will be inside the framing system. They will be secured for transport. You'll have to remove some securing method to be able to actually move them and manipulate them. You'll then install your frame plumb, square, and level. This is a top hanging system, so it is critical that your head is as level as it can be from left to right of the unit and interior to exterior. With our door units, the threshold is also very critical. It's a 3/4 inch tall threshold, which means there's little room for tolerance and variation. So your sill must also be level left to right and interior to exterior. Let's look at what our first panel looks like. As shown in the other video, you'll see that the panel on the glass will have an indicator of which unit is your first light. Your hinges will be pre-attached when possible to the units, along with handles and poles. The other side of your unit will have the brackets pre-installed. In this case, you'll also have the flag of the bottom pivot installed. To hang this unit, we're going to pick it up, line up the bottom pivot, and then we'll have a second person attach the screws to the top pivot. Here's what that looks like. Okay, we'll move the other trolleys out of the way. We'll remove the screws from this bracket. When installing the screws, you'll want to make sure that all screws are started before final tightening and all the screw heads are flush or recessed into the countersinks provided in the hinge. Okay, so now that we have the first panel hung, it should be preset and adjusted from the factory. We'll go over final reveals at the end. The top panel hanging by itself, without the weight of the additionals, will appear to be rocked up high. That'll be compensated for as we add the next panels. On your second panel, your intermediate pivot at the bottom will be taped to the unit. We'll bring that over and go ahead and install it. The intermediate pivot will go in the exterior-most track of the bifold. With the mounts being pre-attached to the bifold at a set location, you'll want to ensure that you bring the bifold and the flag to match up with the hinge. You don't want to adjust the hinge or the adjustment points to make the match unless absolutely necessary. This is the bottommost track for which I was referring to earlier for the intermediate pivot. Bring your top intermediate pivot over, and you'll want to ensure that you use the flags that have countersinks. One set will have countersinks, and the other side, the countersink will be to mount to the opposite panel, so ensure you grab the right set of flags. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring the next panel over. It'll be similar to the first, where it'll have flags pre-attached on one side, and then we'll attach this side. So we'll bring the other over real quick. An important note on this panel is to attach the top bracket first. Prior to attaching the top panel, ensure that the flag is on the correct side of the unit. It becomes very difficult to adjust this flag if it's in between the two units, prior to attaching the top. Okay, so we'll go ahead and grab our final panel. Again, on your final panel, you'll have your end bottom pivot taped to the glass, which you'll need to attach before bringing over. You'll want to ensure that it falls on the same track as the intermediate panel. The main difference between the intermediate pivot and the end pivot is a single flag as to opposed to two, and it has an offset design. Okay, now with the final panel hung, we should be able to test the operation of the unit. At this point, you would want to see our other videos for how to make adjustments and check your reveals. Important things to remember when you're hanging these panels is checking your indicators on your tickets to make sure that you have the correct panel, making sure all your screw heads are flush, and bringing the units to the mounting brackets, bring the mounting brackets to the hinge without making these adjustments if at all possible. Be sure to check out our other bifold adjustment and hardware videos, and thanks for watching.